Hello, friends, and welcome to Load of Crock. This Load of Crock episode is near and dear to me because it's what I'm going to call the OG of Load of Crock. So this was the first recipe that I ever tested that I wanted to go out on my Load of Crock channel. And I'll never forget it. It was a fall day before we had rolled out the Load of Crock channel. My significant other and I were testing recipes, the filming, like all the different things, how we were going to do all of this. We got interrupted. I can't remember for the life of me how. Maybe my son woke up from his nap. I don't really know. But here's what I do know. Since that day, my significant other has been begging me to do this. And so finally, here we are 4 years later, and I'm doing it. That's right, the OG of Load of Crock recipes. We're making meatball subs in the crock pot. Okay, so friends, some of you might be wondering, how does nearly 4 years tick by and you just don't make this recipe again? And it's a really great question, and I do not have an answer for it. I honestly don't. And if my significant other hadn't been bothering me about it, I'm not even sure if we'd be using it today. But the good news is it's here and it's ready. There are 3 steps involved in this. So at first blush, it might seem a little bit complicated, but honestly, it is so easy. Step 1, I'm going to show you the ingredients for and how to make the meatballs. Step 2, I make my own red sauce. I'm going to show you those ingredients and how I make that. But you can also make it easier by just using your favorite red sauce. So there's one thing you can remove if it feels like too much. And then finally, the third step, once the meatballs are done in the crock pot, getting them out onto some crunchy French bread, putting them in the oven with some mozzarella and Parmesan. Trust me, it's worth the 4-year wait. So I'm going to show you these 3 steps along with the ingredients for each, and then we're going to come back. I'm going to share some tips and tricks and how you can avoid waiting 4 years to make this. Okay, stick with me here. For the meatballs, you're going to need ground hamburger, egg, and breadcrumbs. For the sauce, crushed tomatoes, tomato paste, sugar, olive oil, and a blend of basil, oregano, and crushed red pepper. And then for the sandwich, the subpart bread, shredded mozzarella, and shredded Parmesan cheese. First, make your meatballs. Grab the ground hamburger, your Italian breadcrumbs, and 1 beaten egg. Mix them all up really good, and then roll them out into your meatballs. For your red sauce, you'll want to add together the tomato paste with your crushed tomatoes, then add in your blend of spices, your sugar, and your olive oil, mix it up, and of course, to make it even easier, you can just grab your favorite red sauce from the shelf as well. After you've got it all mixed up really good, then you're going to want to grab your crock pot and place all of your meatballs in there after you've sprayed the bottom and sides. And once in the crock pot, pour over the red sauce. Place it on low for 2.5 hours. And then when you're ready to make the subs, grab your French bread, cut them up into the size that you want. I like to crust the bread up at 350 for a few minutes first, then add your meatballs. I cut them in half because they're so big and they sit nicely on the bread. I add a little bit of extra sauce from the slow cooker, and then put on the shredded mozzarella and parm and put it back in the oven at 350 until it's nice and melted and crispy. A lot of footage there of all of the different food and steps, but hopefully by me doing that, you're really seeing how simple this is, even with the 3 different steps, super easy. I did the meatballs on low for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Step 2 with the sauce, as I said, that was super easy to put together, but you can make this even easier by just grabbing your favorite red sauce off the shelf. And then the third step, I like to cut up my French bread in the size that I want, throw it in the oven by itself for about 5 minutes, 350, crisp it up, then take it out, add the meatballs, the sauce, the shredded parm and mozzarella, and then put it back in for a few more minutes. You can even broil it for a minute or 2 to crisp up that top, and it's so good. So good that I am wondering why it took me 4 years to do it. So a few tips. 1, that was 2 pounds of hamburger that I used. It made 13 really good sized meatballs. Tip number 2, which feeds into 1, I made them big because then when I got ready to put them on the subs, I actually cut them in half so that they laid really nicely on the bread. And then also, the big meatballs, the chunky French bread. I mean, it's a lot. So it really helps with that part of it as well. And then third, maybe you're not that big of a fan of subs. And if that's the case, this is perfect for pasta as well. So you could do spaghetti or penne and then put these meatballs and sauce on top. Also amazing. And finally, by themselves. They are amazing. The meatballs themselves alone are amazing. So really great option. If you've got a large group, especially, this will feed a lot of people. But if not, tons of leftovers, and the meatballs left over are awesome. So awesome. Yes. So there it is, you guys. The OG, the original recipe, which I still cannot believe it took me 4 years to make, but don't delay. Go grab your ingredients. Don't wait 4 years. Trust me, it is not worth the wait. It's worth the wait. It's not worth waiting though. Just go and do it. You should. You should. Thanks to all of you that are subscribed and watching this Load of Crock channel. I continue to appreciate everybody's interest. If you're not subscribed, you should consider doing so. We're doing a ton of cool things here, like, I don't know, reviving a 4-year-old meatball sub recipe. I mean, come on. It doesn't get much better than that. I mean, it might get a little bit better than that, but it's pretty good. So click on the red subscribe button, and then if you want to, click on the bell, and then you'll be alerted anytime we share anything new on this channel. So now, everybody, sit back and get ready. The 4-year wait is over. The meal that's been waiting to make its appearance for this long, it's here. It's time. Check out this meatball sub in the crock pot.